Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today it's Tuesday the 28th of March and unfortunately we haven't had any more cattle calving. We're still waiting on the last load to calve and the weather's really bad. It's raining for the rest of the week as well, which means I'm probably just going to end up taking those chain harrows off. And I don't know if I'll be able to do the chain harrowing this year just because it's been so wet. I did see a farmer next door down the road this morning trying to do some work and they were making a real mess. So unfortunately that's just the way it's gone. You know, some years are drier than others, some years are very wet, some years are very dry, and this year it's starting out to be quite a wet year. This here's the subsoiler. Haven't had this out in ages because obviously we did the subsoiling in the autumn time. I don't know if anyone can leave something in the comments section how I could try and keep these blades, stop them from rusting a little bit. Maybe put some grease on it or something. I'll bring it in the shed. Just an idea to try and preserve the metal a little bit. So I've got this old roller. Right, if we put it in low gear. Right, I'll go and roll what we call the arena. It's a good job, you know, this, because at the end of the day, I can do it come rain or shine. It's a job that always has to be done. And it's weatherproof, so it doesn't matter what the weather's doing. At the moment I'm doing this every couple of days. It really depends how often it's being used. Unfortunately, because of the bad weather, there haven't been as many people riding in it, which means we haven't sold as many bookings. But it all comes down to the weather, and when the weather comes right again, this place will be really busy. There'll be a lot of people going around it, the arena and the gallops. So I've got to make sure that everywhere is spick and span ready for when the weather turns and people do come back out again. I'm quite happy this job is weatherproof. It's like an all-weather surface which we put in. It's actually BMW's offcuts apparently from their car mats, and you come in every now and then and roll it to flatten it like a mattress, and then the horses come in, they make a hell of a mess, and then I come and roll it again and sort of flatten it out. But I do need a good roller. I'm talking to Fleming at the moment. They've got like a hydraulic 2.5 ton ballasted one. At the moment we've just got this old second-hand one which is falling apart. The middle bar's cracked, so I don't know how much longer I've got out of this roller, but we'll keep it going. And yeah, it hasn't got hydraulic wheels on it, so I have to drive across the concrete, the stack yard, from there all the way to the top, and I make a hell of a noise when people with their horses are here, and I get in, you know, people don't like the noise of the roller, so you've got to find a roller with the hydraulic wheels to then lift it up so that it doesn't make a noise when you go over the concrete. All these things I've got to do. Farm diversification. And the other day we finished putting together the lamb creep feeder. It was like a flat pack one from IEE, and that's now going really well. It's the flat pack lamb creep feeder. Hello! How's it all going? You alright? You like your new feeder? Put the nuts in there, you just lift the lid. They put their little lamb heads through there. You can adjust the width of the gap so big lambs or small lambs can get in there. And yeah, it's been really worthwhile little investment, hasn't it? Supplementing your grass. Is that right? You look like a teddy bear there. We've just rolled that arena in and done all of that job. And this is a hedge which we trimmed earlier on this year as well for checking the cattle. There's a little track through there where we bring the cattle up very soon in the spring. And if you look on the left hand side, this is where I spread the muck with the AH muck spreader. It was drying out, but now it's gone really quite wet. And we're supposed to be putting sugar beet in here very soon, but it will be a later drilling season, I would imagine. And then coming out of the field, so that's where we've got the sugar beet. This is some more grassland which I cleaned up last year with the weed wiper, the Logic one, and touch wood, it's been quite successful because can't see hardly any weeds in this bit. And I've got a new project this year to finish a little bit on the other side. So we were supposed to be turning these out on April the 1st, but that will not happen this year because it's so wet. And yeah, I am amazed though how well we cleaned it up from last year. They are bringing out a new scheme, I believe, for these marshes as well, for something to do with the wetlands and sort of flooding wetland areas, all that sort of thing. We can't make any silage down here because, well, most of the fields here are too small. They're like little 3-4 acre fields, but you could if you close some of the areas off. So I hope you can see just the work we did last year. I came down here with the mashio and literally mulched all of this area out, and we've made just a huge improvement. You couldn't even walk down here last year. This was all overgrown here, and I am getting a bit of trouble with this stuff, pin rush, which is starting to come up. So I think a couple of goes when the weather's right, once it all dries out. I mean, I'm talking probably May or June time, we could come in with the weed wiper and finally get rid of the last of these weeds. You never get rid of them all. There's always still a few. I've got a few little ones coming up here, patches of nettles and stuff like that, but it's just really making sure that I can tidy them up as best as I can. This is probably a good example of what the soil's like here. It used to dig this out of the ground years ago and brick it up, and then they turn it into fire cubes. You could burn it. It's got a lovely earthy smell to it. And if you look on the left there, that little dike, this gully is going to want cleaning out before long. Job with someone for an excavator, if anyone's in the Norfolk area. I think our current contractor is Askew. So I think they can come and clean that out. And then this is one of the fields I've really got on top of last year. You can see I've literally killed almost all the weeds in there now. So I just picked up a small sample of soil from that molehill. And if you smell soil when it's in the summer, you'll notice that like the soil, I've been learning about this, the soil biome will be working better, a lot better, and that's all to do with the organisms and the bacteria in the soil, all that sort of thing. Right now, because it's cold and wet, the bacteria won't be working as well. It's all to do with the amount of organic matter in the soil, how the organisms work, and the bacteria and everything. But it's called the soil biome, and I've been learning about it from all this groundswell talks. And yeah, if you pick up a handful of soil in the summer, it will basically smell of soil, whereas in the winter it's kind of hibernation mode, and then you'll get all the little microbes in that soil working once we get some hotter, warmer weather. And that's what breaks down the muck which I've spread. It's what helps to feed the plants and keep the soil healthy and alive, basically. So sort of need some good weather for everything to get back to order, back to tickety-boo. So I'm hoping that we need to break that muck down, which I've just spread for the sugar beet. Well, the farm's still in hibernation mode at the moment, and we're not a long way off April and May. So I'm sure we'll be getting some crops in before long, and it will dry up. I'm just too keen. The sugar beet, the fodder beet, I want to see it all drilled and done, and I want to get in and roll that barley. But I don't think I'll be able to roll the barley this year to conserve the moisture. It's just not necessary. And yeah, I'll hopefully get the rest of the crops planted pretty soon. I'm just going to go and check the sheep, and I'll catch you on the next one. Click here to subscribe to the channel, and click here to watch another Olly's Farm video.